Most people don't lack discipline, they're just trapped. At the start of this new year, you're motivated and encouraged to be the best version of yourself. And the best version of you is disciplined, which is why in our time together, I want to show you 5 traps that are killing discipline, even in the most capable and driven leaders. If you want this year to be different, you have to avoid these traps at all costs. It's great to have you back for another episode on the Dream Lifestyle podcast. Today, we are talking about 5 traps that are killing your discipline. And this is important because we know this year, if we want to be successful, we are going to need to become more disciplined. Now, if this is your first time here with us, I'm grateful to have you here. And I want to invite you into this community simply by hitting that subscribe button, as well as I want to invite you to download the Vision Builder Kit. All right. The Vision Builder Kit is a free resource here at Craft Your Dream that we created for you to get real clarity surrounding your life vision. You may have a vision for what you want 2026 to look like, but your 2026 vision should fit inside your life vision, your calling, your purpose. And this Vision Builder Kit is going to help you gain clarity surrounding your life vision, as well as help you create a personal growth plan for you to become the leader that can handle it, that can achieve it, that can do it. And so that's available to you right now in the description link below. Now, today, as I mentioned before, we're talking about 5 traps that we must avoid at all costs if we want this year to be everything that we want it to be. Because what do we know? At the top of 2026, everyone is encouraged. Everyone is motivated. Everyone knows that this year has the potential to be the best year of their life. But what we also know is that in order for this year to be the best year of our lives, it's going to require that we become more disciplined. Now, this idea of discipline is one of those things that a lot of people know they need, but don't take what I would describe as enough practical and intentional steps to actually grow in it. Because what do we know? Your level of discipline is based on your ability to manage your rhythms, productivity, and environment. The success that you're looking to see this year is going to require a higher level of discipline. And that means you are going to need to improve the way in which you manage your rhythms, meaning your routine, whether it's your morning routine, night routine, how you work, the whole nine, just your rhythms, what you do on a monthly basis, what you do on a day-to-day basis, just your rhythms, right? Just the rhythm of your life. You're also going to need to improve the way you work, right? That's your productivity, meaning how you actually get things done. That's how I define productivity. So not so much just working and being busy, just what are the outputs as a result of the inputs? Do you need to put in a whole bunch to get a little bit of an output? If so, we need to develop our productivity so that we're only putting in a little bit of input and we're seeing bigger returns on our investment of work. And we know in order to be more disciplined, our productivity is going to need to improve as well. And then our environment. If we want to become disciplined, we have to know how to properly and effectively manage our environment. And these 3 things, if you just key in this year where you manage them well and manage them in a way where it is aligned with the best version of yourself, manage them in a way that is aligned with the goals that you wrote down, the goals that are on your vision board right now. When you manage these things to that level in alignment with those things, you will find yourself being more disciplined. And when you are more disciplined, you will see the success that you desire to see. And these 5 traps that I'm about to share with you stand in your way. All right. And so with that being said, let's dive in. These 5 traps will keep you from becoming disciplined. The first trap that will keep you from being disciplined is the comfort trap. Okay. The comfort trap will keep you from being disciplined. What's the comfort trap? The comfort trap is profitable tasks and responsibilities that you do not do because you don't feel like it, resulting in a lack of growth. Simply put, you are comfortable being where you are, comfortable doing what you're doing. You're not challenged to do more. You're not challenged to do less. There isn't any drive for you to do anything. You are simply comfortable. And I'm here to tell you with love, your comfort is silently killing you. Your comfort is silently robbing you of an amazing future. And let me just say it again like this as a point. Your comfort is costing you your potential. You do not get anything valuable in life if you choose to stay and sit in comfort. You always have to be sure that you are growing. You always want to make sure that you are not so much striving, but you are always working towards something, because you're not going to be effective if you're just always comfortable. And oftentimes the comfort trap happens. Like, a lot of us can fall into the comfort trap after we've achieved something. So you might have done something you've never done before. But what happens is that one sense of achievement, because maybe it took more than you thought, you automatically think, well, you know what? I'm just going to sit back and be comfortable. And your comfort is only robbing you. It is costing you your potential. Okay. And so how do we overcome and avoid this trap? How do we avoid the comfort trap? The way we do that is by simply valuing growth over our comfort. In some way, shape, or form, you need to focus on your growth. You should know how you need to grow. And that's why a personal growth plan is so important, because it should not be that within 3 months' time, you are the same kind of person. It should not be that at the end of 2026, you are the same kind of person. And so if we want to actually overcome and avoid the comfort trap, we are going to value our growth, because we know that if I value my comfort over my growth, then the same obstacles that are frustrating me today are going to frustrate me tomorrow. And if that's the case, I won't achieve anything. And so discipline says, when we want to avoid the comfort trap, discipline says this comfort is not going to get me anything worth having. So if you find yourself always watching Netflix more than actually working, if you find yourself always doom scrolling rather than actually figuring out how to build what you've been called to build, I'm encouraging you to get out of the comfort trap. I know it feels good temporarily, but it is robbing you of your future. All right. So the first trap that we must avoid is the comfort trap. The second trap that we need to avoid is the comparison trap. Now, the comparison trap is when you're focused on other people's lifestyle in a way that results in a lack of growth. This is where you need to be honest with yourself. If you are looking at the way other people are living and it is causing you to devalue, it is causing you to not enjoy your life, then you are in the comparison trap. And that means you're going to need to disrupt yourself and make changes, because the comparison trap is robbing you. It is costing you fulfillment. The comparison trap, when you achieve something that you've been working on for a long time, is going to cause you to achieve it, but not even enjoy it. The comparison trap is going to cause you to do something that you've never done before, but then step on your own joy and excitement because it's not as good as somebody else. I can tell you right now, like with my experience, even with, pastoring and everything like that, building businesses, the comparison trap is something that I really have to be very intentional with to avoid, because you see on social media, you have conversations with people like, oh, I had this many people. Oh, we just did this in revenue. And it's easy to have these conversations, and it's good because you're getting that kind of information. But then when you get, these types of reports, then you look at what you have and it's like, oh man, what am I doing? Oh man, what I'm doing isn't good enough. And that is just a lie. It's a trap, because the comparison trap is only going to rob you of joy and fulfillment from your process. And so the way in which we're going to overcome and avoid the comparison trap is we are going to filter our focuses. We're going to filter our focuses. In other words, we're going to pay attention to what we're paying attention to. If I find myself scrolling and I come across something and it starts to make me feel a way about my own process, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to unfollow. If I find myself having a conversation surrounding a certain topic, maybe it's number of people coming to services, maybe it's number of people who came to the event, whatever it is. If I find myself having those kind of conversations and it causes me to feel a way, then I'm going to no longer participate in those conversations, because I want to filter what I'm listening to. I want to filter what I am seeing, because I may be in a place right now, you may be in a place right now where it's unhealthy for you to look at what other people are doing because you just emotionally can't handle it, because it causes you to compare. Be honest with yourself and filter. Be honest with yourself and hit unfollow. Be honest with yourself and stop being a part of those conversations, all so that you can focus on your own work. One of my favorite verses in the Bible is in Galatians 6, where it talks about if you work hard at your own thing, you won't even have energy and time to look at what everybody else is doing. That's a paraphrase. But the principle is still there, where if I'm just so locked in with what I'm called to do, if I am so focused on what I'm building, I won't even have energy and time to look at somebody else's thing and compare it to what I'm doing. Now, there's a difference between looking at somebody else's thing and being inspired, but because I'm so locked in and I'm so convicted about what I'm building, I'm not going to fall into the comparison trap just because I'm locked in on what I'm supposed to do. And so I'm filtering my focus because discipline says they have their own life. I'm building mine. So we're going to avoid the comparison trap by simply filtering our focus because we recognize I'm building my own life and it is amazing. The third trap that we're going to avoid if we want to become disciplined is the consistency trap. Now, the consistency trap is when you are bored doing things consistently, resulting in a lack of growth. What does this look like? Just as an example, this can look like where you might have a goal, let's just say, to save $10,000, right? That's your goal. You want to save $10,000, and let's say you have zero saved right now. And you do the work. You put the plan together, you put the routine in place, you put the systems in place, and you save up to $5,000. And then you just coast after $5,000 because you have more than what you started with, but you haven't quite hit your goal. But because it's more than what you have, you're just like, you know what? I'm cool. I can just be consistent. I can just hold it down because you know what? I'm better than where I was, but I'm not quite where I first set out to be. That is the consistency trap, where you are doing the things that at maybe in one season produced growth, but currently it's basically stagnation. Currently, it is not producing growth anymore because you might have needed to make things harder. You might have needed to change things and tweak things to actually challenge yourself. But if you don't, you can easily fall into the consistency trap. Another easy example of this is like if you're at the gym. At one point, if you're bench pressing or something like that, let's say we're squatting. If you're squatting and you're originally squatting 135 pounds with 45s on each side, in one season, that was a challenge and you absolutely got stronger from doing that. But when you start lifting 135 pounds for a couple of months, eventually what was hard in one season is going to become easy because you were consistent. But that doesn't mean you got stronger anymore. That means you need to put 25s on each side. You might need to put another 45 on each side, but you need to continue to challenge yourself. But if you find yourself getting bored and you find yourself not actually challenging yourself anymore, you are falling into the consistency trap. And when you're in the consistency trap, it is costing you progress. It's costing you your progress to what you claimed that you cared about. And if we want to avoid the consistency trap, we're going to obsess over details. Because for many builders, we don't like being bored because we come up with ideas so fast. We can have ideas in 2 seconds and it's no problem. But we never like being bored doing the right things. And I submit to you that if you want to become disciplined this year, get comfortable doing boring things because greatness is found in boring things. Greatness is found in boring tasks. And you won't be great if you're not good with being and doing boring things. I'm telling you, it's just the truth of it. If you want to be great, you need to be okay with being boring because that's just how you get it done. That is how you are consistent in a way that leads to growth because discipline says, I will keep improving even when I'm bored because I'm obsessed over the details. In some way, shape, or form, there is a detail in here that can help me go to the next level. In some way, shape, or form, I'm obsessing over the minutia of this thing. I'm obsessing over the minutia of my ministry, the minutia of my business, so that I get the results I'd like to see. So the growth may not seem grand, but because I'm obsessed over details, I know that these small tweaks can give me an exponential return over time. And so that's the consistency trap. Okay. The fourth trap is the confidence trap. Now, the confidence trap is when there is not enough or too much confidence, resulting in a lack of growth. Now, this is a personal one, meaning you have to be honest with yourself and say, do I have too much confidence or do I not have enough confidence? Because one of the things you must understand about this trap is that if you have too much confidence, you are living in arrogance. If you don't have enough confidence, you are living in hesitancy, meaning you are always hesitating when it's time for you to act. And when you're arrogant, you don't do enough research, and so you're acting too fast. And either extreme does not serve you. And so if we are going to overcome and avoid the confidence trap, if we have too little confidence, it's costing us speed. Okay. If we have too much confidence, it's costing us vision. Meaning I can be totally misaligned with my vision if I'm arrogant. I can be way too slow when it comes to opportunities just because I don't have enough confidence. And so if we're going to overcome it, if I have too little confidence, I need to first remind myself of what I have achieved. I need to remind myself that, hey, I'm here where I am for a reason. You have accomplished something. And it's a matter of leaning on that so that way you are no longer in a place of not having enough confidence where it is causing you to hesitate, where it's causing you to self-doubt, where it's causing you to not take full advantage of opportunities when they present itself. Now, if we have too much confidence, the way in which you overcome it is that we simply identify what we're not. I submit to you that you will truly know who you are when you can identify who you're not, when you can identify what you're not good at, when you can get clear on what you're not good at, what you don't know, and all the things, your weaknesses, and you're clear on it. Because one of the things that will help you just become effective is just knowing, hey, yes, I'm good at this, but I'm also knowing I'm not that. Like, I am who I am simply because of opportunity. I am who I am by the grace of God. Like, that is how you stay away from a spirit of arrogance. Okay. So if we have too little confidence, we're going to remind ourselves of what we've achieved. So that way we can encourage ourselves. If I have too much confidence, then I'm going to identify what I'm not, just so that way I can be in that sweet spot of understanding, okay, I'm good enough to take another step, but I'm also not king over this whole thing, that I am just honoring process. I am just a man. I'm just a woman that is just doing what they've been called to do, simple and plain, nothing more, nothing less. All right. Because discipline says I'm able and I have more work to do. I'm never satisfied because I know that there is more in me and I want to give myself a chance to see it. That is how you avoid the confidence trap. Now, the fifth and final trap is the community trap. The community trap is when you are connected with people that don't actually support your dream or keep you in neutral, resulting in a lack of growth. There are different people around you that you have enabled. There are different people around you that you have convinced yourself that they are for you when they're really not. There are people around you that you are trying to convince yourself that they are actually supporting your dream when really they are just standby people. They're just onlookers. They're not actually supporting you. And this is why I make the distinction between someone who is straight up against your dream versus someone who just has you in neutral. They are neither pushing you towards nor pulling you away, so they just have you in neutral. If you want to avoid the community trap, you need to get clear on who is around me and who is pushing me towards my goals, who is pushing me towards my dreams, who is helping me and supporting me in a real way for me to build my purpose, for me to walk in my calling. But if you don't do that, if you convince yourself that people are for you, if you convince yourself that, these people are for you when they're really not, now you're basically surrounding yourself with people who are not going to help you. And as the saying goes, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And if your friends aren't supporting you in alignment with your calling, then you're not going to reach it. So what does this cost you? If you are in the community trap, it costs you your standard. If you are in the community trap, it costs you your standard because discipline doesn't grow in environments that reward neutrality. You are not going to become if you're around people who are stagnant. You're not going to grow if you're around people who don't value growth. You're not going to see improvement in your life if you're around people who use language like, I'm going to just take life on life's terms. It is what it is. If you are around people when you ask them what's new and their only response is nothing, that's a sign they're not for you. That's a sign that you as a builder don't need to associate with them anymore, because you need a community that is going to help you build your dream. So it's costing you standard. Your standards are what is going to help you sustain building your dream life. And so how do we do this? Very simply put, we audit our relationships. All of your relationships should be audited. And you might be in a place right now when you're like, well, if I audit everyone, then who the heck am I going to talk to? Where are my friends going to come from? I'm here to tell you that it'll be hard at first, but you will find the right people who have and who share your values, who share your goals, who share your dreams and share your drive. And it's just going to take a moment for you to identify them as you continue to work on your thing, as you continue to build your dream, as you continue to walk in your calling. All right. So it's going to take time. So discipline says, I need the right people to build what I'm called to build. And you're going to need to identify those people. So those are the 5 traps. I'm going to go through them again real quick just as a recap. The first trap is the comfort trap. The second trap is the comparison trap. The third trap is the consistency trap. The fourth trap is the confidence trap. And the fifth trap is the community trap. I want you, especially at the beginning part of this year, to just truly evaluate these 5 traps and really think through which of these traps am I in and how do I make the change? Okay. Which of these traps am I in and how do I make the change? And you can go deeper on each of these 5 traps in the Vision Builder kit, in the growth guide that comes with that kit. You go through each of these traps and you really work out, is my environment allowing me to become the level of discipline that I need to be for my dream? Okay. So as I mentioned before at the very beginning of this, download the Vision Builder kit so that way you can take what we talk about today and really go deep in it and really apply it to your life. I appreciate you. I hope that you got value out of this conversation. And if you did, I just want to invite you to share it with one person. Share this episode with someone that you know has a dream. Share this with someone that you know has a vision for their life and they truly want to see it happen, because anything is possible. Your dream is possible when you're willing to grow for it. I'll see you in the next episode.